96% of our kids in Massachusetts are educated in district schools. 96% are educated in district schools. 4% are educated currently in charter schools. We are putting forth legislation today that, very importantly, at a bottom line, puts forth tens of thousands of new seats in innovative classrooms targeted to districts that are struggling the most. And this bill also lays the groundwork for replication of best practices, both among charters themselves and between charter and district systems.
It addresses the concerns that we have heard over the years that charters are sometimes funded at the expense of traditional public schools by putting both traditional and charters in the same budget bucket. It provides a safeguard against underfunding by proportionately reducing the cap lift if the Foundation Budget Review Commission's recommendations are not fully funded.
For schools that serve at-risk, high-risk populations, this bill completely blows up the cap on those types of schools. For the first time ever, we will adopt in Massachusetts a category of charter school that is unlimited. So where Massachusetts, for example, saw 5,000 students drop out of school last year, if a school is primarily serving those students, no cap applies. Massachusetts has roughly 17,000 children who are homeless and who face enormous odds of against ever graduating. If a school is primarily serving those students, no cap applies. And if a school is serving pregnant or parenting teens who are 40% less likely to ever graduate from high school than their peers, no cap applies. This bill that we are releasing today raises the cap on charter seats in the lowest performing districts from the 18% that's currently in statute of net school spending to 23% of net school spending at a rate of 0.5% a year. The bill also incentivizes districts to bring forth more innovative classrooms by allowing them at local option to count Horace Mann charters and innovation schools toward that new 23% cap. And between these two measures alone, we will be bringing online tens of thousands of new seats in innovative classrooms.
What we are asking for in this bill is that charter schools have a higher level of transparency as it relates to finances, contracts, policies, board meetings, up to the level and standard that the district schools have, so that in the district there is transparency both for those who are involved in the charter schools, but for those who aren't, for those who really want a window into how these schools are working. As far as admission and retentions, the charters must admit new students when a student leaves, because as Senator Chang-Díaz noted, some of the statistics get skewed if there is sort of a selecting process of who remains at the charter school. So what we are requiring in this bill is that when a student leaves a charter school, that seat is filled. As far as the teachers are concerned, recognizing that we have a standard for certification right now for 96% of the students who are being taught by teachers that have teaching certificates, this bill does require a path for certification for all of the teachers, including those in charter schools.
It's important to know that the ballot question, as was stated by Senator Chang-Díaz, only addresses 4% of students in charter schools. That cost is approximately $1 billion. So we would be spending $1 billion on 4% of the students across the Commonwealth over 6 years.
For us to allow this to go to the ballot, which will expose potentially at a 12-school lift a year, the citizens of the Commonwealth to over $300 million a year of additional expense, and that's just at the state level, could be seen as reckless and irresponsible. What I love about this bill is, embodied in this bill is a way to address that and proactively look at the funding in a way that will adequately and responsibly fund our public school systems going forward.